Touche, salesman. Jays lose 4-0 in the second of a 4-game set in New York. Honestly, not a lot to talk about with this one. This was a pretty low-event game. This one saw Yusei Kikuchi on the mound for his Blue Jays debut, facing off against Yankees' fifth starter, Nestor Cortez. No real need to dwell on this one, so let's just get right to it. George Springer led off the first with a sign of things not to come. A nicely barreled double down the left field line. He aggressively went on to steal third base. You kind of love that in the first inning. And then he ended up being stranded there. You don't love that in the first inning. Or any time, honestly. Kikuchi also has a bit of an adventurous first inning, issuing a leadoff walk to Josh Donaldson, and then an out later giving up a double to Anthony Rizzo. It's at this point that Kikuchi gets bailed out by some of the most hilarious and yet tragic base running we've seen in a long time. Josh Donaldson, believing that it's still 2016, tries to score. Josh, you don't have it, pal. Showing all the speed and friskiness of a 70-year-old retiree power walking at the mall, Josh is predictably gunned down at home plate by Teoscar Hernandez after he fumbled the ball what felt like 4 times. I don't even think I'm exaggerating when I say I think I would have scored on that ball. Josh can still swing with power and he can still pick it with the glove, but he just does not have the mobility thing. Boy, the Donaldson dash really does feel like 1,000 years ago. It was 6 years ago. Jays look feeble in their half of the second, which brings us to the bottom. LeMahieu gets a solidly hit double, which was the most well-hit ball in the inning, which is strange because an out later, Aaron Hicks lofts a lazy fly ball to right field. And because this is the joke ballpark that the Yankees have decided to call New Yankee Stadium, that's a home run. George Springer was the beneficiary of a bandbox home run in last night's game. Aaron Hicks gets it this time around. The children's playground giveth, and the children's playground giveth some more, but to the other guys. It does a lot of givething. Anyway, it's 2-0 when it probably shouldn't have been. That's the last I'll say about that. Until this invariably happens for one team or the other again tomorrow, and I'll mention it then. But I'm done talking about it tonight. A whole lot of nothing happens until the 4th inning when Kikuchi, who's actually been pitching alright to this point, 2-run home run notwithstanding, allows a couple of base runners. When Jay's backup catcher of the moment, Tyler Henneman, decides to make his presence felt in a suboptimal way, trying a pickoff move at first base for some reason and absolutely sailing it down the right field line. DJ LeMahieu, who is not the fastest human being in the world. Also, side note, that top 5 in the Yankees lineup is probably the slowest top 5 of any baseball lineup I have ever seen. Look, they won the game, so it must have worked out for them in some way, but geez, bunch of giant statues trying to hit home runs. Your 2022 New York Yankees. Anyway, back to Heineman's embarrassment already in progress. Airmail down the right field line. Somehow LeMahieu is able to scamper home despite the fact he doesn't have the wheels he used to have, and it's 3-0 Yankees. Kikuchi is shortly lifted for David Phelps, who adroitly puts the fire out with a double play ball. And the bullpen does a solid job from then on out. Anthony Kay giving up the lone run on a Giancarlo Stanton sac fly in the 8th. You'll notice how these have all been Yankees descriptors that I'm talking about on offense, and there's a reason for that. The Jays had 2 well-barreled balls all evening. The George Springer double to lead off the game, and a Matt Chapman double down the left field line in the 5th. And I honestly think that was it. The Jays kind of had a head fake at doing something interesting in the 8th inning when they got 2 on with 2 out, with Vlad Guerrero at the plate against Jonathan Loaizaga, but he rolled over a breaking ball and ended the rally on the first pitch. And that was the story of the whole game. The Blue Jays just rolling over on split-finger fastballs. They just couldn't seem to get the barrel on anything, couldn't seem to make any kind of adjustment. Clay Holmes, Miguel Castro, Jonathan Loaizaga, all had the same game plan. Split-finger fastballs that dipped a little bit, causing the Blue Jays to just top them and burn them right into the ground. All night long. You can't really fault the Yankees for having a good game plan, although it was pretty straightforward. Kind of wonder, why weren't the Blue Jays able to adjust? Why weren't they able to change? Why weren't they able to pick it up? Well, turns out hitting a baseball is hard. Who knew? And Aroldis Chapman, who I think is going to be automatic this year, was automatic. Not much more to say about this one. This whole game was basically the Yankees holding up a mirror to the Blue Jays after last night's game and saying, "No, you!" And the Blue Jays saying, "Yeah, fair enough." I just generally don't have a very high opinion of Nestor Cortez. I don't think he's especially good, but he pitched really well for the 10 outs that he was asked to give tonight. The Yankees are really leaning into this whole starters aren't stretched out yet thing. And I was a little disappointed by Kikuchi. He left a lot of balls over the plate. Tonight he mostly got away with it, but that's the kind of thing that can continue if he wants to keep pitching in the American League East. And he signed for a 3-year deal, so we damn well better want to keep pitching in the American League East. But on the whole, this is kind of a disappointing night for the whole offense, who just didn't seem to have any fire, any intensity. It seemed like there was a lot of oh well to tonight's game. I guess I haven't been watching the videos because I've been talking about how important this series is, and guys, Should I send you the link? Anyway, last thing I want to talk about tonight is this Collins-Heineman duo they got going on at catcher. Yeah, that can't continue. Especially when you had Alejandro Kirk as your DH. Why not just use him at catcher? Then maybe we can get another bat in there, one that can actually, maybe potentially hit a major league pitch. Zach Collins has had 5 at-bats in the big leagues that I've seen. 4 of them were really feeble strikeouts. I am not sold on this guy, at all. And Heineman's only impact on the game was when he airmailed a throw to first base that didn't need to happen in the first place, leading to the Yankees' 3rd run. So, hard pass on all of that. Kirk should catch. I think we have enough bats that someone else can be DH. Jano come back as soon as possible. And Gabriel Moreno in his AAA debut was 2 for 5 with a run batted in and a thrown out runner on base. So, TikTok. Obviously not actual TikTok. That was his first game in AAA. We're not going to see him until September at the earliest. It's just, come on, that. Anyway, tomorrow night we get back to the marquee stuff. Yankees #1 starter Garrett Cole versus Jays ace Jose Barrios. Both of whom looking for a little bit of redemption after their not so great starts to the season. And in Barrios' case, by not so great, I mean utterly disastrous. So both should be motivated. Might be a low-scoring game, but hopefully it's a little more entertaining than this one, because I gotta tell you, this one was a snooze fest. That's it for this one. We'll see you for the next one. Like and subscribe if you like this video. You know the whole jazz. We'll see you tomorrow.